Thank you, thank you. All right, so we don't have a song yet. We love our order of service, and some of us are more orderly than others. Right now, as we think about and take into our heart the daily word prosperity, I am prosperous as I enjoy my daily blessings. We move into our time of meditation. So just take a nice deep breath and get centered. Just relax into this moment, this holy instant. We let go of the busyness of this morning that brought us here, whether it's in our living rooms and Zoom, whether it's or Facebook, and here in our lovely spiritual center. We are one in truth, one in consciousness. And so just allow that feeling of oneness. Allow that feeling of gratitude, that calm, relaxed, safe feeling as it travels from the top of your head down through your body, all the way to the tip of your toes and back up again. As thoughts drift by, just allow them to drift. No need to get caught up in them. Just say thoughts and come back to your breath. Just the ease of your breath. No need to do anything different or special. Just allow the breath to breathe you and notice how delightful it is just to breathe behind our masks or not. Our breath is our breath. And as we are in this place of open hearts and open minds, allowing our thoughts to drift right past, I'll share these words from John O'Donohue. And again, no thinking is involved. Just allow these words to wash over you. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you from all falsity. And may the warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. And may anxiety never linger about you. Breathe that in. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret cemetery of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Woven around the heart of wonder. Your heart, your soul. As we take a few moments in the silence, again, when thoughts try to pull your attention away from the spaciousness of the silence, acknowledge them and move your attention back to your breath in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. As we take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. And we are consoled in the secret cemetery of our soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around your heart of wonder. And so it is. And gently, gently, when you're comfortable, come back to this, your awareness of the space, the awareness of the energy of the space. Open your eyes when you're ready and just notice. Notice things that you look around that you may not have when you came in. Notice that you are right here, right now, in this present moment, this holy instant, as we move forward in celebration of being together this morning. And now we'll hear special music by Nancy Dasco. She's also on Zoom and has recorded this song for us.
There's been a change in me, a kind of moving on. Though what I used to be I still depend upon. For now I realize that good can come from bad. That may not make me wise, but oh, it makes me glad. And I never thought I'd leave behind my childhood dreams, but I don't mind. For now I love the world I see. No change of heart, a change in me. For in my dark despair, I slowly understood my perfect world out there had disappeared for good. But in its place I feel a truer life begin. And it's so good and real, it must come from within. And I never thought I'd leave behind my childhood dreams, but I don't mind. I'm where and who I want to be. No change of heart, a change in me. No change of heart, a change in me.
Nancy, thank you. That was beautiful. No change of heart, a change in me. And isn't that why we're here? Not in this place, but on this planet, so we can open our hearts and our minds. A change in me. And that changes with every day, every moment that passes, so that we can enjoy life as it happens, or at least cope with it. Oh, thank you, Nancy. And thank you, John, for your earlier song as well. We love Karen Drucker. So, October is National Book Month. Yes, not only is October my favorite month of the year, it's also Book Month, which is my favorite thing on earth. Aside from, of course, my people, my family, but books. So here's a wonderful quote to commemorate this month of books. In the case of good books, the point is not to see how many of them you can get through, but how many can get through to you. That's by Mortimer Adler. I thought that was a great quote. Living originally. What in the world does that mean? It's our Fall Faith series for the next 6 weeks, including today, and it's based on the book by Robert Brummett. one of my wonderful teachers in seminary and a friend. He's taught students in counseling and all kinds of things for many, many moons in Unity, and has written a couple of books. So we're in good hands as we do this with a book study. It's about spiritual practice that help transform our lives. So, and there is time to still sign up if you want to be part of a small group. Yes. So Robert begins with a quote from one of my favorite Catholic nuns, Cynthia Bergeneau. She says, "In the actual meaning of the word, however, being original doesn't mean trying to be different. It means being connected to the origin. You can't be original by trying to be original. You become original by staying true to what your heart sees." Staying true to what your heart sees. Robert explains that quote by saying that living originally is to live from the ever-present origin of life. It is to live from that very source of all that is. He notes that we all live from this original source. We must, but we don't do it consciously that often. He goes on to point out that the differences between our societally conditioned personality and living authentically from our origin. Our personality is part of being human and necessary. However, Robert invites us to live from the center of our being, our oneness within God, and then out into the world, informed by Spirit. So we live from our center to our circumference, not to be completely tossed about by outer experiences and outer advice and outer everything. We look within and then we move out. The rest of the book that we'll cover over these next 6 weeks introduces 10 spiritual practices to help us understand, practice, and live from, as Robert describes it, from our center and out into the circumference. The series then continues our lifelong journey to live from our true self as it informs and as it guides us, our ego, our personality, or what I call our humanality. That's spirituality and our humanness, because we can't separate the two. We're one within Spirit, and we're very human. So it's our humanality. I'm going to get that in the dictionary one of these days. While the concept of living from our origin is very important to gain spiritual understanding, I'm going to step back here for just a little bit and expand on our origin. Because as I was sitting with these principles, as I was sitting with this book and these ideas, what came through me was our origin and what that means, and how we were taught that, how our society tells us what our origin is. Now, this is a wide subject, and I want to make a little disclaimer here. It is not my intention ever to question somebody else's beliefs. We all have those, and they are working for us now. And we get to choose if we want to expand. And I apologize in advance if I offend anybody because of some of the things I'm going to say about certain parts of the Bible. Because we are taught in metaphysics, I've been taught since I was in my early 20s about questioning, about metaphysics, beyond the physical, about to question what these mean, not in general, but to me. What does it mean to me? And so I offer these ideas just as ruminations of my mind, because I felt like it was an important thing that I share, so that we all, as we go into learning spiritual practices with this book or with a group or on your own, as we move into expanding our spiritual practices, it's so important to understand some of the things that might unconsciously, like Robert said, we live unconsciously from our source, our origin. But some of those things that just might be back there holding our good back, holding that change of heart, that change of me. So in our Christian culture, the Bible has been our introduction to the origin of life as it's told in Genesis in the Old Testament. So how better to start a book, the Bible, with how humans and everyone on earth came into being, right? Well, in Hollywood, they don't necessarily start at the beginning. They make prequels. So they get you all engaged in this story, like this certain Jedi Knight named Luke and his mysterious father. And then they make a prequel saying, well, this is how it all started, folks. If you didn't quite, get all that, this is how it all started, and takes us through and then beyond. So I believe the Bible needs a prequel. How can we make sense of a story written a couple of thousand years ago and put together by this group, this body of people who were very much in power at the time, the Nicene Council, and decided what books go in and what books go out and what order to put them in? Okay, so we're putting our faith and trust in whom? So we could check with Darwin and scientists and the mystics long before him, this Nicene Council and the folks who wrote the Bible, and we could put together a prequel for humankind. I wonder what that looks like. So we can let our imaginations, the power of imagination, just run wild with that. So, but in the Bible, we're told God created everything in a week, including his first children. He made man and then built another virgin he called woman, good old Adam and Eve. And if you haven't read Genesis in a while, and I sat and I read through, for one thing, the story changes a little bit from Genesis 1 to 2 to, and on, as it does throughout the Bible, even with all the stories of Jesus in the New Testament. But I sat and read it. I'm like, okay. And I felt different feelings. I felt like I got a little mad, a little like insulted. He made God, or he made woman out of the rib to be the man's helper. Oh, no wonder women couldn't vote for till the last 100 years, right? So if you haven't read it, it was almost then it became comical to me. So after they ate the forbidden fruit, Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent, and then God punished all of them for eternity. I mean, for all men and all women for the rest of time. He punished the snakes and the man and the woman for the rest of time. And really, humans in general, it seems, when I read that the idea God had about having humans around kind of went terribly wrong in the eyes of whoever wrote that. So how do we trust and obey this God? However, how can we recover if we humans believe a story that as fact, that story is fact instead of a parable, a myth, a metaphysical happening where we can see the different ways we can spin it to make it make sense to our soul, not to our intellect, but to have it resonate with us like a truth with a capital T. I've always had too much of a questioning mind to just believe the Bible stories as fact. And I'm grateful for that. I love reading Jesus's words. And in seminary, we read those words, and then we read a book called Was It Really True? You know, what did Jesus really say? Is Jesus one man or a compilation of men? And there were folks in my class that broke down and sobbed at the thought of Jesus not being the sweet creature, the sweet man that we have all loved since childhood. Now, that's just our typical Protestant and Catholic upbringings. And some of us were unchurched, as they say, but still it's in the ethers. It's in our culture. It's in even the Jewish, our Jewish friends have versions of all of this. The first 5 books of the Bible, you know, are the Jewish Bible. And so there's a lot of drama in those first 5 books in the Old Testament. And so there's a cultural thing across people. You know, Rome, they had all of the mythology, the gods, there are tons of gods. So do we look at those and say, and worship them anymore? Some do. And in our indigenous people, they had many gods, many names for God, for nature, and expanded them and gave them reverence to everything. Now, I don't judge those who take the Bible literally. I absolutely don't. It's a deeply embedded choice that we have either been told directly or subtly in our American and other religious cultures. So that's what my point is today, is that we need to be aware and awake to what may be holding us back by something we heard when we were just little, or that we overheard on TV all the time, or in commercials. So there's a couple of lots of scientific things out there. One of them is creationism, the belief that the universe and various forms of life were created by God out of nothing. And then there's human evolution, the process by which human beings developed on Earth from a now extinct primates. Viewed zoologically, which I found interesting, and this is from the Encyclopedia Britannica online version, updated. We humans are Homo sapiens, a culture-bearing, upright walking species that lives on the ground and very likely first evolved in Africa about 315,000 years ago. Now, this is the part that kind of was like something for us to watch. Science says that we are now the only living members of what many zoologists refer to as the human tribe. But there is abundant fossil evidence to indicate that we were preceded for millions of years by other human tribes. There was other human tribes that are now extinct. We know dinosaurs were extinct. We still don't know why. But there were many tribes of humans that are now extinct. And guess what? We're it now. Okay, Mother Earth, Father Time. So another myth or social religious norm that we're told is that we were born into original sin. Anybody ever heard that? Original sin? Yeah, I see hands everywhere. So now that is kind of alluded to in the Bible a couple times. And that it was a curse. There was I think an African philosopher in like 360, 425 CE that really brought this into the mainstream thinking. The original sin in Christian doctrine is the condition or state of sin into which each human being is born. Although the origin, cause or source of this state, also the origin of this state of original sin. Traditionally, the origin has been ascribed to the sin of the first man, Adam. We're going to blame Adam for this one. who disobeyed God in eating the forbidden fruit, Eve's fault, and in consequence transmitted his sin and guilt by heredity to his descendants. So if living originally and having conflicting stories and beliefs about the source of all things, which we commonly call God, could present a problem in our spiritual understanding. You think it could? It could present a problem when we say living originally means living from within, from our source, from the power and presence of one that we in unity call God sometimes, we call spirit, we call universe, we call this energy not a verb, not a noun. God, we don't use as a noun, as a person. We use it as an action verb, an energy that is all pervasive. And that we, through our thoughts and our feelings, channel, if you want to say that word, that has other connotations too, use this energy to create our lives. And to do that, we have to look at what our unconscious beliefs are. Now, you can't really see them when they're so deeply embedded in our culture, but you can feel them. You start a new spiritual practice and fall asleep. Start a new a meditation and you start making lists in your mind. We all do that. We have to be willing to come back to the breath, to come back to some way of bringing ourselves home to our origin, to the power and presence of whatever you want to call it. God is a verb, not a noun. We animate things in this human life because we're living in this world of form, of touch and taste and feel and see and smell. And so, we have these darling little black squirrels in our neighborhood, so cute. And we have these darling little black dogs at home. And so I call them cousins to my dogs. I'm like, hey, Pippa, there's your cousin, a little black squirrel. And so we do that because life is animated. We're animated. We're not static displays going from thing to year to year to year. The weather is different every year. Even though we say, well, about this time of year, it usually does this. It might not. It might not. Because life isn't static. The seasons aren't static. They change, and they change how they change. As we study metaphysical interpretations of the Bible and other non-biblical teachings like Buddhism, and read the great philosophers and mystics, we can happily begin to question our understanding of life's origin. We can feel the freedom of tapping into the energy of God as a verb, as God as an action energy, of God as a source of all good, the source of all power that we can use and discover and use and discover. Curiosity is good. Questions are important. We live in the question. When we live in the question, we create an opening to our true origin and let it emerge within us. We live unconsciously because we have become identified with the false self, or in other words, with the false stories we've been taught for years, and then we continue to run them over and over and over. Thousands and thousands. We live with a case of mistaken identity. Now, if you've ever watched a police show, come on, you know you have. These police dramas, you know that they arrest people sometimes who didn't really do it. They're like, no, it wasn't them. It was what? A case of mistaken identity. Do you have a case of mistaken identity? Did you mistake yourself for living a certain way? And you're like, wait a minute. Wait, that's not me. That's not me. This is the me that I want to say. This is the me that I want to speak. Huh. So it's no wonder metaphysics, this new thought, and other spiritual teachings, even the Buddhist, and so many others, say that heaven and hell, when we say heaven and hell is here and now, when we create it, you know, to let go of a God up there, as much as we think we've evolved, what do? We go, thank you, God. Thank you, God. It's an automatic cultural thing, and it's not bad. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing wrong with it, as long as you understand in your own heart and make peace with, if you believe in the creation story of the Bible, then believe. Then have it work with you, for you, as you. If you've ever blamed God, been frightened of God, or going to hell, or not trusting your own inner guidance, you're not alone. It is our religious myths that seem to create the doubt, not unlike the media and our commercial culture creates fads helping us believe that sugar cereals and waffles with whipped cream are a healthy breakfast. My mother would have never fed us Kool-Aid if she'd known how sugar affected a young child and all the dyes. Never. My mother's physician, when she was a young mother of 4 children, said, Joanne, you should just start smoking. It'll calm your nerves. And she smoked until she had a stroke, and we told her she forgot that she didn't smoke anymore. She didn't believe us for about 2 weeks, but Mom, you quit smoking a long time ago. So it's that unconsciousness that we question. The mass. If the American Dairy Association says it, I don't believe it. My kids, I never gave them milk after they were weaned from me. We're the only human animal that does that. They don't give cows milk, right? Those are the kind of things that I just watch for. And it's different for everyone. It's your belief. It's your belief that gives you freedom or locks you in place. Some static beingness. As we explore Brahma's book and other wisdom teachings, ancient and modern, we get to be awake and aware of how much the myths and legends of our origins have been or are still unconsciously affecting the truth of our origin. And that truth, you have to discern. So here's the good news, more good news, is that as long and a balm for my soul. No matter what name we give it, no matter what fabricated stories have been written, we are fully and always within the source of all life and supply. It doesn't matter if you fight against it. What you resist persists. You get to name it, you get to claim it, you get to grow and trust and faith in the universal good, to take action out in the world when you're called to do so. God, Spirit, the universe, love, all one within you and within me. We can ignore it, curse it, be afraid, or turn and embrace it. Embrace our confusion. Embrace each other as we try this together. Living originally is about consciously looking at what stories you're taking too literally, and through open-hearted spiritual practice, allowing your true, unmistakable origin to guide you. To guide you. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Now we got Miss Stacy to do our love offering.
I'm back. This is a time of our service where we share of our financial gifts and tithes for this ministry. If you're joining us for the first time today, thank you for joining us, and let this service be our gift to you. Thank you for joining us. There are several ways that you can contribute to Unity of Bay City. You can mail a check to our office. You can use the donate button on our website at unityofbaycity.com, or you can set up an automatic payment through your financial institution. Thank you for your continued report, and we appreciate you. Now let's please join all together in stating the affirmation for our offering. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am enough. I have enough. There is enough. Now for special music.
My body, my soul are part of a perfect whole. My heart and my hands are serving a sacred plan. I know that it's true when all that I am comes down to you. I know that it's true. I know that I can rely on you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. All that I am, all that I am, all that I am, God, I give to you. My thoughts and my mind belong to eternal time. My words
Gotta love Daniel Nemod, right? Always has good times. So thank you for joining us at Unity of Bay City today, whether you're here at UBC or on Zoom or in the sanctuary or in the parking lot. We are always happy to share this time with you. Thank you for joining us. Let's find out what's going on coming up at Unity of Bay City. Of course, we have already heard Fall Faith is right around the corner here. We will be having our study circles starting on Thursday evenings at 6:30, beginning on October 15th, which is this Thursday. So if you haven't signed up and you want to, please do give Joan a call in the office and get registered so we can get you signed up in a group. This year, as was mentioned, we are looking at the book Living Originally by Robert Brummett. And you can order the book online at smile.amazon.com or from your favorite bookseller. Call or email the office to sign up. I already said that, but still do it.
I agree, yeah. Call or sign up, just call or sign up. All right, we've got a Fall Faith auction going on as well. And this is gonna be, again, like everything has been, we're like, oh, this is gonna be different than last year. Oh yeah, pretty much everything is. So we're good with that. We're Zoomers now. And so the auction's gonna be online. And so what we need now is for new or like new items for the auction. So use your imagination. Gift certificates even work. There's all kinds of things that we can look at in our homes, or you find something at a store and say, I don't need that, but I'm gonna buy it for the auction. You know, just those kind of things. So contact the office or Tracy Bliss. If you don't have her contact information, you can go on Facebook if you want to donate for the auction.
And our drum circle, our next drum circle is coming up this Friday on October 16th at 7:00 p.m. So bring your own chair and probably a blanket and your favorite drum or tambourine. So we'll see you there. Enjoy the fun.
And we usually have extras. We got extra shaky things and drums too, if you don't have one or you forget it. So yeah, isn't that what a tambourine is, shaky thing?
Yes. It is a shaky.
And it's thing, yeah, those. So maraca. Saturday, October 31st is trick or treat, Halloween, whatever you want to call it. It's our once in a blue moon Halloween party because it's a blue moon that night, a full moon, second full moon of October. So we're having trunk or treating in our parking lot for our Bay City community and around. But it's stay in your car kind of a thing. So those of us who are going to have our cars here, so you, we do need a few more volunteers to volunteer your trunk and decorate it. We've got room for 18 vehicles to be trunks open with candy. So if you want to decorate your vehicle and socially distant, passing out candy, you can contact, again, Tracy is our events coordinator, Tracy Bliss, and we need donations of candy. And we also need 2 traffic directors for the fall decorations, because folks are just gonna drive in, open their windows, and I've got this big arm that looks like a skeleton, and I'm gonna have the candy on the end of that. That's how I'm gonna put, you know, hand them their candy. So it's all gonna be safe and fun. And after that, then we start our UBC party around the bonfire with drumming and s'mores and all that good stuff. Okay, is that it?
Healing group.
The healing group. Today is the second Sunday of October. And on the second Sunday of every month, our healing group gathers, and they are praying with you remotely. And every Sunday, our oneness blessing givers are actively blessing those. Now, typically, you can just call the office or email the office and just give us your name or other people's names, and we give those on to the blessing givers too, and this week to our healing group. So, but just know that they're in that space starting here in just a few minutes, and you can join in that space as well. But if you have a particular healing need, please let the office know and we'll get that information to you. All right. And P.S. This original sin thing, you know, in Unity, we call it original blessing. You can't look, I've seen pictures of grandbabies this morning of folks having new grandbabies. Could you ever look at a child and say you're born of original sin? Not for one moment. In any fiber of my being do I believe that myth. We are born as an original blessing. Every one of us. And we can see it in each other's eyes if we just take time to look and to allow. I love you all very much, and I'm so grateful that we've gathered here this morning. So let's bring our gathering to a close with a prayer for protection. I changed it just a tad, so you can do this or the other. So let's stand up. Yeah. All right, and together. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am love. The power of God protects me. I am power. The presence of God watches over me. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Have a wonderful fall afternoon and a wonderful week. And hopefully see you Thursday night.